everybody. Welcome to Cub Chat Live. Today is a truly special episode because we've got a real, true blue volunteer in the house. She's got her boots on the ground. She works with Cub Scout Pack 102. Rachel, we are so glad to have you on today. Thanks for joining us.
Thank you for having me. So we're excited to be represented here.
Pack 102. Yeah. Give them a big shout out. Big shout out to Cub Scout Pack 102. Everyone in the audience, please give them a hand, give them a shout out, and drop your pack or troop's name in the comments so that we can give you a shout out. We've got, of course, mention Pack 38 and Troop 38 who are watching, Pack 84, Cub Scout Pack 92. Thanks for tuning in, y'all. Those are a few of our regular viewers, but we are so glad to see you here each week. As a reminder for anyone, you can check out past episodes of Cub Chat Live. We've got that URL we'll be putting up at the bottom of the screen where you can see all our past episodes of the Cub Chat Live. There's a lot of good topics. Today is something, at least I've never gotten to be on the show, as we've talked about, but we're talking about building relationship with your community. And Rachel, my understanding is that Cub Scout Pack 102 is active and engaged with the local community, and that causes a lot of just like all around success for you guys. Does that sound right?
Absolutely. We are very tuned in to the local community and try to get involved as many places as we can and be represented and recognized in the community for not only serving it, but also just engaging with the other members in our own neighborhoods.
Yes, and that's what we're going to be talking all about today. We're going to talk about the ways you might think of like community involvement, things like parades and other activities, but we're also going to talk about something we're very, very excited to talk about in terms of how it builds a relationship with your community, and that's popcorn sales. But we'll get there. So Stay tuned if you're very passionate about popcorn. You know these people are.
Most definitely. And we've got some wonderful, passionate other volunteers and parents that have organized an amazing popcorn program for us.
So stay tuned to hear about that. Also, Rob said something in the comments that I want to comment on. He said brand new Cub Scout Pack 716 in Prosper, Texas. Rob, what's going on? Tell us about that. Hello to Pack 13 in Illinois, Pack 192. Ooh, Biloxi, Troop 419. Thanks for tuning in. Okay, let's jump right in. Again, we're talking about parades, community events, community involvement. Do you want to tell us a little bit about Cub Scout Pack 102?
Absolutely. Our pack actually just had the troop of Unit 102 just had their 100th year celebrating as part of the Alamo Council. We're in Boerne, Texas, which is part of the Alamo Council in San Antonio, Texas. So we are the second oldest active troop in Texas. So we have grown to 140 scouts just in the pack alone. Which has been amazing. We went from right around 100 to 140 this year. So it's been awesome. We have phenomenal leaders that are very diverse in so many different areas in serving in the community. So, it really helps build a strong leadership and organization. So
can I stop you there and just ask, I think that big 40 scout jump is something that a lot of packs are facing around the country, getting to experience. Facing makes it sound negative. How did you guys handle that? Do you have any insight on that?
So we, just some of our leaders, our parents really who have become leaders have just gotten so involved personally and committed to their kids and to the Scout program. So we've got a number of leaders that we just celebrated another one getting their wood badge. And he has, I don't know if it's like 4 kids now that are coming through the pack. So, it's just, even being so busy, and as a doctor, he has, accomplished that. So, no excuses out there. You can make the time if you want. So, but yeah, the parents in supporting their scouts have been amazing to help build the program and, to bring their scouts and kids to the events and activities. So, you can have a scout pack, but, if they aren't actively involved, then, it doesn't work. So we've just got a lot of active parents that have helped build and grow that program, and also being very visible out in the community. So,
way to bring it back around.
That's right. Yeah. I mean, just, if you're not seen, you're not known about. So we just really try to get ourselves out there, and parades and these popcorn sales have really helped us get in front of the community in large scale numbers too.
What a great answer. So I've definitely got to say thank you to the parents who stepped up and volunteered. Even with that big, growth, you guys are still being recognized. You're not just surviving, you're thriving, right?
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. Absolutely.
Do I see you guys Journey to Excellent Gold level recipient? Pretty cool.
Yes. We are Journey of Excellence Gold recipients for the highest levels standards for BSA. And then we've also are the only unit in the area who's continually been designated as a Baden-Powell unit. So since 2017. So
what does that Baden-Powell unit mean? Do you know?
So I don't know exactly. It's regarding our unit performance. I mean, we've obviously grown by leaps and bounds, not only our scouts, but also the leaders in it, and the participation in roundtables and other activities within the organization and within the council. So
yeah. Well, all that to say is there's a reason why Rachel is joining us today. She's a wonderful volunteer for a wonderful pack. So she's going to share some of the ways community involvement has really led to clearly a lot of success for this pack. I want to give a shout out to Pack 4044. I love that you guys are watching on YouTube. Thanks for tuning in. That's a reminder for anybody out there. If you don't have easy Facebook access, you can watch on YouTube. You can embed the YouTube videos or send them out in emails if you prefer working with YouTube videos. Rob followed up and said they're getting their charter paperwork in today, and he is this new Cub Scout Packs commissioner. That's so awesome. Pack 198 is watching. Pack 257. Let's jump in a little bit. Why is community engagement important, Rachel? I know you touched on it, but there's even more to it.
So yeah, it strengthens the connections with the community, but it's also in turn supported our growth and development as an organization. We have participated not only in engagement of the community, but also community service activities. So part of our community engagement, there are multiple parades that our community has, but 2 of them we participate in every year. And then we also are out doing popcorn sales at local and national retailers to sell popcorn. So we're getting ourselves in front of the community and seeing our scouts do good things. And then we also do our popcorn sales and bake sales at our market days. So we're out in the community doing that. And then part of our service activities have involved collecting food donations and book donations for Free Little Libraries. We our Bernie community has a Brighten Up Bernie, which has been something fun and unique, where all of our dens have got to paint a trash can, and the trash cans are distributed throughout the community, and it's brightening up Bernie and getting the pack in front of others. Another one is donating popcorn and other baked goods after bake sales to our local first responders. You're seeing pictures right now with the popcorn sales that we do. We also collect donations. And as with those donations, we'll buy popcorn for our local responders, and the scouts personally deliver them to sheriff, EMS departments, fire departments, local police. So we certainly support and try to give back to the community. So
yeah, so that's just a year in the life of the pack.
Yeah, popcorn's an easy way for that. So that's been
I like the distinction you made. Today we're talking about, building community relationships, but there's a distinction between community engagement and community service. We've got our community engagement events where we're just active participants in celebratory fun, maybe like commemorative events, or providing the community with popcorn, things like that. That's things that they might expect from Cub Scouts. And then there's community service where we are serving the community literally. So you mentioned things like collecting food, donations, painting trash cans. That's a really fun idea that I don't think I've really heard before. I say all this, if you guys are watching and you have ideas that fit into the community engagement or community service category, comment with him. We'd love to share your ideas as we talk through, the specifics on how this happens in Pack 102. Parades are something I don't know that we've ever talked about on the show, at least not when I've been on. So I'm so excited to say, let's talk parades, Rachel.
Yes. So, first and foremost, obviously, when you're dealing with parades, you're dealing with vehicles and traffic and roads. So our safety is our first priority, and we follow the SAFE checklist and the guide to safe scouting. As part of the SAFE checklist, SAFE, SAFE, the S for supervised. Our youth are always supervised by qualified and trustworthy leaders and adults. We get a lot of parents that will jump in and assist and walk along the parade route with our scout leaders, and with the older scouts, they get to walk along the parade route as well. But we've got adults that are setting example for safety and always keeping an eye on the kids to make sure they're safe. The activities that we do, especially obviously with the parades, are assessed for risks and what could possibly happen. We participate in a summer parade, which is obviously during the day. And then we participate in a Christmas parade, which is at night. So, the difference is, one major difference is scouts stay on the float when we have the night parades. That's really important. And everything is well lit. Part of the parade is having Christmas lights. So we try to make it big and bright for our float. Fitness and skill, leaders ensure that, we watch the limits for the scouts. So the older scouts will walk along the parade route, and we get pencils that are printed out with the scout information. So they're handing those out to the spectators, and that again is getting our name in faces out in front of the community. Yep, there's some of our scouts passing out the pencils. So it's a fun, very interactive part of the parade for the kids, and just always looking for ways to keep them safe and keep an eye. Another part of the safety is the equipment and the environment. Here in Texas, we have been having triple digits for weeks on end. So we've got to always watch the weather, make sure, the kids have plenty of water, stay hydrated, and then also check the safety standards for the trailers. Our trailers, some have had railings, some have not. So we always have the scouts sitting. They always are within reach of something that's they can hold on to, that's stationary. And we've just, try to have a lot of fun, but, keep it safe too with the changing conditions. So you're seeing a couple of the floats that we had. We, as far as our float and parade participation, our summer parade has themes, and we always try to decorate and really jazz up and focus on that theme. And in doing so, we have won the Big Kahuna for the Aloha and Hawaiian parade. That's what you're seeing there. And then we won the grand champion for our Mardi Gras parade float, which you're seeing there. So one thing, that little secret, not all the parade floats can decorate for the theme, because they've just got a standard float they use every year over and over. So, by decorating for the theme, there's only a certain number that do that. So, and we've come out on top. So, which
that is so cool.
Gives us, extra kudos and highlights and recognition. So that's really been super fun. And the leaders and the scouts work together to decorate the float in advance, and then also the morning of. So it's a fun activity with the parents, leaders, and the scouts.
So a couple things. First of all, love these photos. I feel like the photos themselves add like another element of PR that you get for your unit when you're able to show these things and show kind of the fun they're having. The kids look very happy. I think that goes a long way. I'm so glad that our safe checklist came up today. I know our health and safety team definitely is, but we've talked through it with the director of Cub Scouting, Anthony Berger, a few times on the show. And we've talked about it in terms of an outing and really how the checklist could be applied to anything, but we usually talk about it in terms of an outing. And while this is an outing, I don't think we've ever talked about it in the context of a parade before. Mm-hmm. And I definitely want to highlight it's really important to talk through the safe checklist with your scouts as well, and in terms of what behavior will be expected of them during the parade. Because if you've never been a part of a parade, what's awesome is that you guys have this legacy of participating. So the scouts are learning year after year, you know, I need to sit still. I can't just walk in the middle of the road. I need to watch out for what's around me. I need to make sure I'm sticking with my leaders. Mm-hmm. So talking through all of those things is really important. If you're out there and you're wanting to get involved in parades, but you're just not really sure how, I'd love to hear, you know, Rachel's input on that. But before we do that, I want to read a couple ideas and things people are doing from around the country. Kim, hi, Kim. Thanks for tuning in. She's a longtime viewer. So each year their pack hosts a table at their NYPD National Night Out Against Crime community event. Great, you know, community engagement piece, I think. Beverly says they love to hike and do park cleanups. So I think that falls more on the community service side. Don't you think, Rachel?
Yes, definitely.
Pack 133 in Richmond, Texas was at the Fort Bend County Fair Parade. That's a like pretty similar, right? Mm-hmm. I wonder how they did. I wonder if they were on a trailer or, you know, I guess it was the pack. So probably they were on a float. Very cool. Wendy says their pack leadership coordinates with the 4 grade schools in their school district to provide and present flags at the school's Veterans Day assemblies. They help keep a good relationship with those school principals as our den and pack use the school cafeterias for their meetings. Wendy, you hit so many great points there. We're not talking all about that today, but I do definitely want to call out when you do those community service, if you don't have school access per se, a lot of times your school will allow you to do service projects for them, which in some ways still allows, you know, builds a relationship. So maybe you eventually get school access, or at least there are scouts out in uniforms, you know, putting out flags, and parents are seeing that during pickup and drop off. And that's pretty cool.
Yeah, we do participate in our school's Veteran Day celebrations. And a lot of times they're the flag bearers. So taking the flags.
I'm imagining that your parades are like really busy. Like, you know, they're probably huge for the community. And I am trying to imagine what this would be like. New York City Cub Scout Pack 422. They march in the New York City Veterans Day Parade and St. Patrick's Day Parade.
Wow, that has to be huge.
Yeah, that would be a lot. But I think, you know, like all of these different settings probably come with like their own specific set of hurdles where that safe checklist comes in. Like the environment's different, the whole, you know, strategy's different. Do you have any advice if there's anyone out there who's like, how do we even start participating in a parade?
You know, just doing your research within the communities. You know, if you haven't participated in a parade, you might look for a small town parade to start, you know, and to maybe get the feel of, you know, what it's going to be like. Depending on your pack size, the participation will vary. You'll see there with the Aloha, we didn't have quite as many kids as we did with the Mardi Gras. So, you know, I think after the first year that we did the Aloha, kids heard how much fun it was that they jumped on board for the Mardi Gras parade. So, but yeah, I would just research, you know, what parades are available to participate in, and maybe, you know, if you're nervous about it, start at a little smaller scale, which would be, you know, a shorter parade. That might be helpful. So
yeah, I think that's great. Your advice is the exact same mine would be, which is Google for sure. Google and find the website. And you might be thinking like, how do we get involved in a parade? But the truth is the parade is seeking out people likely to be in it. So they will be happy to be approached, and, you know, like whatever kind of entry form there is, or, you know, logistical portion of that, you can tackle that after you get in contact.
Yeah, they usually have all kinds of lists and rules and regulations and recommendations.
And there's probably all kinds of good, hopefully safety information that, again, you can share with your parents and your youth. Shout out to Pack 5092. Jennifer says their first parade tomorrow is in downtown Plainfield Community School District. Oh, and the school districts are involved. their first time popcorn kernel. Oh, she is the first time popcorn kernel for Pack 13. You got to stay tuned, Jennifer. We're about to get into some fun stuff related to that.
Yeah. Uh-oh, we lost Gina. She'll come back, I'm sure.
Oh, we're good.
There we
Still
go.
here. Okay. Without further ado, let's talk about popcorn sales. I think our audience might be thinking community engagement. That's fundraiser.
Oh, it's both. It's both. And we tie our popcorn sales into our parades. So on parade day that morning, we also have a different group of scouts that are selling popcorn with their parents along the parade route. So, which they take a wagon, they take the popcorn, and they're square, and they sell away. And it's a great sale day because people are waiting and sitting, and they get hungry. And but that's been a huge day for our popcorn sales. And then we also participate in the shop and sells. So the show and sells, where we go in front, storefronts, and they may be local stores or they might be national retailers. We've got a great support from some national retailer outlets, and engage with the community there. So you're not only doing fundraising, but they're seeing our scouts, they're seeing Pack 102, and the scouts are learning sales, communication skills, and building rapport with the community. So it's a lot of fun. And our popcorn sales, we have amazing popcorn kernels that have grown our sales within 2 years from $10,000 to $60,000 within 2 years.
Wow.
It's been phenomenal. This year we're at 38,000, but we've still got about 3 weeks to go. So, and that's when the big push happens at the end. So
that's an astronomical number. I want to get out and start selling popcorn. So a couple things, our friend of the show and half the time host Aaron would want me to make sure I tell you to check in with your council to see what your fundraise, like what popcorn you guys use for fundraising, because different councils use different vendors. We don't just have like, oh, this is who we, this is our national mandate for who you use to sell popcorn. So make sure to check in with your council if you're wanting to get involved in popcorn sales, and maybe you haven't yet. I also wanted to mention that I love the idea of selling popcorn at the parade. I'm not sure I've really ever heard that, but I really like it because it's often like a fair environment. And that's very much what people people go to the fair, expect to spend some money, expect like that exact kind of situation to happen. And I just think in some ways that's even better than being in front of a store. But what I like about being in front of a store is really playing up the community engagement portion of it. You're not just there to sell popcorn. You're there to represent Cub Scouts, remind people that Cub Scouts exist. It could be a passive recruiting event. You could be talking about the other things you do with parents, or just getting, there's no reason you couldn't get involved in a conversation where you talk about somebody else with their kids there getting involved in the pack, right?
Oh yeah, absolutely. So we've definitely, had recruitment, part of if people don't want to, buy popcorn, we have a donation jar, and, we also engage with them to make a donation, whether it's $1, $2 donation. And that's, one of the ways that we buy all the popcorn, extra popcorn for our local first responders, and, also sending popcorn to our military service members overseas. So
wow, that's so great. Yeah. I love that y'all do that.
Mm-hmm.
And that's more community engagement, community outreach, and in some ways service, just because you're saying thank you for everything that these folks do.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Will you dive in a little bit into your the Sign Up Genius and how you use it for scheduling?
Yeah, our popcorn kernels have created some amazing tools and organization to our popcorn sales. So they have created a Sign Up Genius for scheduling our show and sells. And so they send, actually you're looking at the Show and Sell 101. It has information from, how to sell, what a show and sell is for, new scouts that are coming in. And then there's a link to a page, which you're seeing right now at the bottom of the screen, which that page is a one-stop shop for all information regarding our popcorn sales. So we've got Sign Up Genius for scheduling your scouts for the show and sells. And you can see, upcoming sales, where they're at, and viewers can go and take a peek at it, a sneak peek. And if you are interested in learning more about it, I can hook you up with our popcorn colonel to maybe talk on a one-on-one basis. So we have a Google Drive set up that is dedicated for the Pack popcorn accounts information. So when one popcorn kernel moves on, the next popcorn kernel has all the information they need right there in one place. And then we've got a Google Drive form where scouts or the parents can go in and they can place their orders that they've collected for that week. And our popcorn kernels will show up at the next pack meeting with all the popcorn that they've ordered and get it ready to deliver. So that works out great. So.
Our audience is very, very into these tools. What great, tangible, employable ideas you are providing for us today. I think it's really fun, the idea of we call it fundraising, but when fundraising comes around, it doesn't have to be a drudge. It's really exciting and fun. And obviously you guys have had a lot of success. I don't want to skip over this. Your popcorn sales not only funded pack activities, right, for the next year, but they're covering something else too, right?
Our popcorn sales, because we've been so successful the last several years, this year it is covering our pack dues. So our scouts don't pay pack dues.
I hope everyone out there knows you can do that.
Yeah. So, we try to we create our own prize levels, and in doing so, we are able to cover the cost of the campouts. So, at certain levels, the kids first get their campouts covered, and then it goes up to all the kids, because our popcorn sales have been so great. It covers every pack member's pack dues this year. So it's pretty amazing. So we just, encourage all the kids to sell a minimum amount of popcorn. And, we know that the pack dues are going to be covered. We try to make the prizes, though, not only excitable for the kids in sales, but also the parents, because, they're a big push and a big help to those sales. And, covering some of the expenses of scouting is huge. So they're happy to help and meet those minimums. But for the kids, they get to, at a certain level, pack leader, or break a balloon on a water balloon on them. We also, some of our top prizes are BB guns, pocket knives, and fishing poles. So we've got all kinds of different levels in between, that, hiking backpacks and lanterns and fans, and also, gift cards. So.
Right. Yeah. Okay. I like the idea of kind of involving the parents in it, because obviously it's going to benefit them as well. But also, Anthony Berger has also talked about building the pack community amongst your leaders and your parents. If everyone is friends and they're having fun together, that just makes this a lot more fun. Not oh, we got to go stand in front of Walmart tomorrow morning. It's just more fun, and there's prizes involved. It's it's almost free to buy a pack leader. And I imagine that is quite the incentive for your younger Cub Scouts.
Oh, absolutely. They have so much fun with it. And the leaders, are such good sports about it. So, it's fun for everyone. So
yeah, at least Cub Scout leaders are used to getting dirty. So I'm sure that they're not too worried about that.
Right.
This episode flew by. I want to read a couple comments if you have just a second.
Yeah.
So Brian is saying some of the things they learned while selling or attempting to sell, earning their way, goal setting, handling rejection, people skills, entrepreneurship. I just want to emphasize that people skills thing. I kind of touched on it earlier, but one thing that I think really sets, Cub Scouts and Boy Scouts apart is their ability to ask for the sale themselves, talk to the person themselves. I think that is just such an invaluable experience at that age, because your parents right there with you. It's a safe environment. I like that. We're getting a lot of comments saying we love this idea. They love the idea of a one-stop website. Behind the scenes, Brian dropped a link to Pack 102's popcorn selling tools, which is super cool. Aziz says we're doing a good job. Yay. Very cool. And David says, rely on those old faithfuls. They sell at stores like Walmart and Tractor Supply, and they had a lot of success. So, hey.
Those are two places where we go. So, for sure.
Lowe's, so there must be a reason.
Lowe's is a great supporter, and Home Depot as well. So,
Brian, David asked a question. Do the kids get a certain amount of the money? And I think the answer is they're getting all of it because it's going towards their activities, their dues. It's making Cub Scouts more accessible for them. So in the most direct way possible, it's going to them.
Absolutely.
And David, this is your first year as a leader. So I feel like you have got to go look back at the past episodes of Cub Chat Live. Everybody who is watching, if you like today, you would like all of our past episodes. We've got a ton of good content. If you don't want to sit and watch videos, we have all of these shows created as podcasts as well now. So you can subscribe to the podcasts, rate and review us. Let us know how we're doing. Visit scoutingmagazine.org/CubChatLive. Rachel, is there anything we've left out?
I don't think so. We've covered a lot, but yeah, definitely check out our the Linktree page. Get some great ideas, and if you need assistance, feel free to reach out to the pack. We've got some very supportive leaders and willing to share ideas. So,
yeah, I hope that you will join the show again, Rachel. We have so much to learn from you. I'm so excited for such a successful Pack 102. I love that they're fellow Texans. I think I might need to go down there for the fair and parades.
Absolutely.
I want to see that.
Oh, they're fun. A ton of fun.
Very cool. Well, we will see everybody next time. Have a great Friday, and thanks for watching Cub Chat Live.
Awesome. Thanks.
Thanks for tuning in today. Be sure to catch next week's episode. Same time, same place. And let us know how we're doing at go.scoutingmagazine.org/rate-cubchat. We love feedback and ideas for new episodes. And you can visit blog.scoutingmagazine.org/CubChatLive for all our past video episodes. You can see us live, except it's recorded, but it was live. Okay, see you next week.